Welcome to the One Up Podcast. I am your host, El Caballo, aka Tony. Here with some of my nearest and dearest. I got Doe in the building.
Yo, yo.
I got Mateo in the building.
Hey, buddy.
And I got Pucho in the building.
What's going on, my brother?
Just that pause, the dramatic entry there, Mateo.
I had something stuck in my throat. This coronavirus is kicking my ass a little bit, man.
Before we get into it, if it's your first time listening, watching on YouTube or on Spotify, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, the follow button, please do so right now. We'll greatly appreciate it. Help us continue to drop these hot videos, these hot and ready videos. Also, feel free to like us too on Spotify and Apple. We're on almost all audio platforms. Also, don't be afraid to comment. You know, tell us, hey, you guys look like shit. You guys look like you need a bath, or Jose, you look real good, or El Caballo, you're like the sexiest one on the video. Don't be afraid to say that. Go ahead.
No, you should be afraid to say that. Keep
Never
that fear in you.
hater.
It's good for you.
But yeah, how was everybody's week and weekend? Though we looking real purple, like Barney over there, the Huff shirt.
Yeah. I watched Barney pretty late in life. A lot of people looked at me like, why are you still watching that show?
Wait. How late in life are we talking
I
about?
was like 5, 6 years old.
Oh, that's not bad. I thought you were going to say like 15, 16.
Yeah, but like all the kids around me were already like Power Rangers and shit like that. So it was a little weird, yeah.
Yeah, but I think 5 years old is the target audience. Like,
You remember the clown girl with the big couch?
No.
You don't remember? The
Most
big
of those-
comfy couch?
Most of those kid shows were like after my time. I grew up on the old school ones like Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers.
I grew up on Little Bear.
I remember Little Bear.
Blue's Clues.
Oh man, I've got a soft spot in my heart for Blue's Clues. My nieces and nephews watch the shit out of that one.
Yeah. It was my fun time when I used to stay home from school, watch a little Maury, some Jerry Springer.
You watched Jerry Springer as a kid?
Yeah, that's like daytime TV, bro. Real raunchy
Jesus.
daytime TV. You are not the father.
If you were real lucky, daytime TV was you would watch like a movie on TNT. So it had like 40 commercial breaks from an hour and a half long movie into a 3 hour long movie.
Those were
All the
worst.
curse words were like dubbed over. Some weird version of the curse word was playing. It was the worst.
Yippee-ki-yay, moozer, foozer.
Yeah, they would replace it with the worst things.
That's hilarious. I
You know
forgot
what I
about
did?
that.
Yes, some of it was atrocious. I think Baby Boy on BET was one of the worst. The BET was like the worst one, like because they would play a lot of like old school movies that had a lot of curse words. So they'd have to like come up with real creative stuff, and it was the worst creativity you could possibly think. I think
That's
Rush
wild.
Hour is another one that has some really terrible like dubbing for the curse words.
I don't even remember there being curse words in Rush Hour like that. Like, it seemed like a really kid-friendly movie.
Yeah, there was some like cursing that couldn't be on TV, but that could be in the movie theaters, like
Shit.
Well, now
stuff
you can,
like that.
Now you can say shit on TV.
Yeah, South Park really dove into that one in that episode when they finally could do it. South Park premiered it, the shit episode.
You could say fuck now.
No way.
On normal ass TV?
I don't know. I think like in movies, like I think
PG-13, you get like one F-bomb or two F-bombs or something like that. There's some
think
kind
it's
of
like
like
one.
there's one fuck, or else it goes up to NC-17. I think.
You know what I was watching though that I found really really interesting. To continue our Arnold Schwarzenegger's timeline on this podcast,
We started the Arnold Schwarzenegger timeline.
he's obvious. He stayed. He's not ejected into the universe, right?
He
Yeah, he
definitely
stayed.
stayed.
He definitely stayed. So he's
He's one of
definitely
our
part
mascots. He's one of our mascots.
When Papucho was talking about Terminator 1 being the better Terminator movie, I was perplexed. I was like, I don't think I remember the Terminator movie. I think I only saw one scene, and it was at the club with the terrible hair and the terrible dancing.
You love that shit.
He's dancing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
He's doing the Carlton is what he's doing right now.
Literally.
Nah, that's 70s. That's 80s dancing. All right? That's that 80s dancing. It's the worst.
I feel like you would have been prime in that era.
Bro, if that was impressive to people, no wonder everyone was getting laid.
Picture Dowie with a big old white suit with like the shoulder pads on him. He's got a bright pink like shirt underneath it, no tie or anything.
Coked out.
Coked out of my mind.
Got the long
Doing
fingernail
cartwheels.
going and shit.
Cartwheels on the dance floor.
Cocaine
Yeah, but
tips.
I have to admit, I was a Terminator 2 fan for a very long time. And although Terminator 2 does do the action much better than Terminator 1, I think Terminator 1 tells a better story than Terminator 2. I actually was watching Terminator 2 last night, and I began to understand things better because I had watched, obviously, you watched the first movie, you'd understand the second movie better, but I've never watched the first movie. Some of the acting is real 80s, cheesy 80s acting, but I loved... the first one has a better "I'll be back." That's what I was like. Oh, that's a badass scene right there. I think
That shit was crazy. Yo. He walks into the police station. He wants to get in there to kill Sarah Connor and shit. He walks into the police station. He looks around and he's like, "All right, this isn't that reinforced. I'll be back." He walks out. He drives his fucking car right into the police station. Then the music is like, he's shooting mad fucking cops. These ACAB motherfuckers. That's their mascot, the Terminator, right there. All cops are bastards. Like they just need to replay the scene over and over. Like
That's ridiculous.
he's slaying cops left and right. That shit's crazy.
I've got a brave opinion here. All the Terminator goods are. There's not a bad Terminator movie.
Oh, come on! Don't say that.
It's not a bad Terminator movie.
Oh no!
There's some that are very not good, but they're not bad.
No, there's only dude. Terminator 3 is bad. Terminator
3 is the one with the son grown up, right?
Yeah.
It's not.
like,
It's not.
First, you
bad.
take the idea of John Connor. John Connor is literally John Rambo in my mind. He's this ultimate badass. He's leading the human revolution against the machines. And then you make him a whiny little bitch in Terminator 2. And it's like, all right, this sucks. Then in Terminator 3, he grows up and he's even a whinier bitch. And I'm like, why the fuck would he do this? How is he going to grow up to become John Connor? Like, this isn't right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then Terminator 4, I actually like it. There's some, I don't like the whole like half man, half machine plot line that they throw in there. It's a little whack. But it's cool. You meet a young Kyle Reese. You got Christian Bale as John Connor. This is good stuff. Then the next movie, Mateo, is atrocious.
I actually kind of enjoyed that one.
Oh god!
The acting is cheesier. The plots are insane, but it's fucking time travel, dude. All time travel movies are insane. Let me describe to you Back to the Future. A guy goes back in time to make sure that his parents fuck, but almost fucks his mom.
pretty good synopsis.
If my mom looked like
remember
that,
the
I'd be in
hand?
trouble.
Oh, the hand. He'd look at his hand. It's so stupid.
Yeah. Nah, dude, Terminator, the fucking, was it Terminator Genesis or whatever? It was horrible. I love the idea of it. It's like Terminator 1, let's send the Terminator back in time to kill Sarah Connor. And it's like, all right, cool. Terminator 2, let's send the Terminator back in time to kill Sarah Connor and John Connor. And it's like, damn, we can't kill these goddamn Connors. All right, I got a better idea. Let's send the Terminator to the past to kill Kyle Reese before he could save Sarah Connor so that the original Terminator still kills Sarah Connor. And then they even put a little twist on it. Now Sarah Connor comes back from the future to save Kyle Reese, who's in the past trying to save Sarah Connor. It's insane. I thought that was really cool. Because then she pulls up on him and she hits him with the famous line that Kyle Reese... In the first movie, Kyle Reese runs up on her and then he's like, come with me if you want to live. And you're like, oh shit. Like, and so then she hits him with it.
Well, she's not from the past. The future just changed. Remember in that last Terminator movie, it's that she's no longer important. It's that other girl that's important. Because the other girl, the other girl becomes like she's the John Connor of this new timeline, basically, because they broke the Terminators so much.
Yeah, I don't know.
That
it was
last
terrible.
one was good.
The tech was crazy.
I enjoyed the last one.
Maybe I need to go back and watch it. I was disgusted by what I saw.
I think Pucha just likes the raw how Terminator 1 was. It's just raw, straight storyline, great. Acting was pretty good too back, for that era. But give the last one a try, bro. Shit is okay.
Pucho calls it the Resident Evil 6 of Terminators.
It's bad.
Is Resident Evil bad? Or 6 is bad?
Is terrible.
I don't think I watched it. Which one is the 6 again?
The one, it's just so bad.
It's so bad. Yeah, you don't even know. Nobody knows what it is.
There's 6 different gameplays in it. I don't know if you knew that, but there are 6 different types of gameplay in that game.
Do you fight a sea monster at some point in that game? Is it that one?
No, that's 5.
Resident Evil 4
Is that 5?
And 5.
What were you Tell them about those gameplays.
No, dude. One time we looked up Resident Evil 6 because we're like, can it be that bad? Like, me and Doey were always on a search. We're always searching for an online co-op game that we could play through. And we find it occasionally. We play our Overcooked. Right now, me and Tony playing It Takes Two. We're playing Red Dead Online. Like, we're always trying to find like online games that we could play together. Mm-hmm. So we're like, all right, we play Resident Evil 5 for easily over 100 hours. We beat this game so many times. And it's not a great game, but together it's fun. We're like, all right, can Resident Evil 6 be that bad? Like, it's co-op. We should give it a try. And I don't know. I was trying to look it up, and then we came across like an Amazon review where somebody was talking about like how amazing Resident Evil 6 is, and they were trying to talk about how many playthroughs the game has, because there's like 5 or 6 different characters, and he just in the review he just keeps saying like it has 6 different gameplays. It has not 1, not 2, not and he just keeps talking about the number of gameplays. It just sounds fucking ridiculous.
I like Leon's gameplay because it does this. And then you get Albert Wesker's gameplay. I'm like, that's not how gameplay works. So it's funny. I think although the practical effects in Terminator 1 a little stinky. I gotta be honest. That Terminator.
Look for its time though. You're looking
for
at it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's
for sure.
At that time, that shit was fucking grade A fucking movie
when he's
theater.
like poking himself in the eye and then like doing that stuff looks pretty cool, but it's like obviously not him and like a dummy. There's a lot of use of dummies in this movie too that I'm like, all right, this is an obvious dummy.
That's movie back.
He cuts his eye out, right?
Yeah.
Or he cuts around his eye. He does
around
some
his
weird
eye
shit.
because he gets shot in the eye or around the eye and it gets like cloudy.
His body starts like decomposing or some shit. Like he starts looking dead in his face.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of damage.
Yeah, he takes a lot of damage.
I till this day, man, I love so many things about Terminator 1. The car chase is so fucking crack. Like when they're running away and he's shooting the fucking shotgun, they're throwing pipe bombs out the fucking car. Like I love that shit.
Some of those, like I said, there's practical effects in 80s movies that take me out. This movie did one of them. The fast forward driving. Like that shit is obviously in fast forward.
They're doing a 5 mile per hour speed like car chase.
When they crash into the wall, that shit goes like they put it at like times 10 speed. You're like, oh, that looks so stupid.
She yells 2 times and it doesn't make sense. She does the same yell twice. It's just so weird when they crash. Ah! Ah! I'm like, what the fuck?
At least it doesn't do that Power Rangers shit where it's like one punch, but they show it 5 different times from 5 different angles.
That shit reminds me of Kung Pao. The fucking it was
that
like
fake ass
parody
karate movie.
Yeah, it was a parody of the Kung Fu movies. And yeah, they'll do shit like that. Someone will get punched in the face. They'll be like, they'll hit you, like a bunch of different, and the hands coming from different places, but it's the same exact punch. It's just a lot of stupid shit like that. That shit was funny.
What about you guys? What have you been up to? Who's next?
Well, I caught coronavirus watching No Way Home, so I've been dealing with that.
Worth it.
I mean, I'm not in serious condition. I'm not in the hospital or anything. So
It's because you're boosted.
that's what I'm telling myself, man.
Bro, shout out to fucking science. Okay? I just
Yep.
heard that there's an Alzheimer's vaccine.
Is there a
And they're
vaccine for
making
it?
it.
Close to it. They're getting close to finalizing it. But yes, to cure Alzheimer's.
Yeah, no, that's fire.
That's crazy.
Now, with my COVID time, I've been playing 2 games. I've been replaying through Spider-Man because I picked it up. It was on that winter sale that they were doing, and I've been playing through Last of Us
First
First
one?
one?
because I have the second one and I haven't played it. So I was like, let me play through the first one, get reacquainted with this world, and then I'll jump into the second one.
Man, I have so many good times with the first one. That multiplayer is so fantastic too. I remember specifically playing on Grounded with Bucho. Have you ever made it to that part where you're like in a big store that's like a library?
In the first one?
In the first one,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
I've beat the first one, so I've definitely been there.
yeah,
It's the
that
bookstore.
on Grounded is super hard, and I remember going through that whole place without being seen or getting killed. I felt like so good.
Do I have to play it on Grounded to get the platinum?
Yeah.
There's some trick though, right, Pooch?
Yeah.
There's a trick.
Once you beat the game, there's a trick to get into New Game Plus, but on Grounded. Usually the New Game Plus doesn't let you change difficulties, but there's a glitch you could do to get into a different difficulty. So you can end up in Grounded Plus, which is a big help because you got all the upgraded weapons and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, also Grounded is an experience. Like, it's so worth playing because it's so stupid. The difficulty under Grounded is even harder than Grounded. Like, because
Really? Because that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm playing at right now.
yeah, Survivor is harder than Grounded in my opinion because the enemies are bullet sponges, so they take like a lot of damage. On Grounded, the rules are different. You're only 1 or 2 hits away from death at any time, but so are all the enemies. So it's like a more like realistic kind of like difficulty, I guess. So even though the resources are limited, you're killing everything easier. So you're less pressed in the middle of action. Like, oh shit, how do I deal with this? I'm almost out of bullet. Like, you have that feeling, but you know, if you run up on a guy and you shoot him one time, like in the chest, you know he's gonna die. Like, so, and that helps a lot.
I have been very doped up on medicine while I've been playing. There's lots of Dayquil and NyQuil in my life lately, and I don't know if I could handle Grounded or not. I don't know, man. The amount of times that I've wandered into an area and I stopped paying attention, so I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do. And it's like, shit, am I supposed to sneak? Do I need to kill everyone in this area? What am I actually doing here?
Yeah, most of the places, most of the like encounters, I think you could just leave, which is surprising. Like, because I play the game like I murder every single person throughout the whole game. And in places like the bookstore, there's like 30 dudes. That's just like a hard fight. Like, but I was surprised. Doe just walked into the bookstore, snuck behind this bookshelf, went behind the counter, and walked right out the back door and left. And I'm like, what? You could do that? Like,
Is that the one with the ladder you have to pull down? It's like at the beginning.
When you get to that back, you have to go up a ladder. It's like maybe 2/3 into the game. It's an obvious bookstore. You're not gonna miss it the next time you go into it. You're gonna be like, all right, this is what they were talking about.
Okay, I still had the chick in my group, and I know there's like a little like spot where it's like the first spot you run into at Clickers, and I fucking bozoed my way through that one. I meant to throw a bottle. I accidentally threw a Molotov. All the clickers ran towards it anyway and caught themselves on fire. They were distracted, so I was able to pull down the loud ass ladder without them hearing me.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That first area where you get introduced to the clickers.
Mm-hmm.
That shit's scary a little bit too. Like,
this game is stressful, dude.
I played that shit in the dark the first time, and bro, when I tell you, I thought I heard clickers in my house for every little sound. I was like, what the fuck? Like, is that the game? Game's fantastic. It really, it's really immersive as fuck. Like, you think like you're really in that fucking game.
Level design is very good in that game. Like atmospherically, they created a really fucking vibrant world.
Can you imagine how good it would look on a 75-inch LED TV?
I know.
Wow.
It would look even better on a 77-inch OLED TV, okay?
Oh, that's right. I got the specs wrong.
Yeah. Gotta give them every inch.
Yeah, every inch you need it, bro. Them put 2 inches.
Yeah.
Add 2 inches. That shit makes a big difference.
I'd go straight to Joel's taint.
Ugh.
Damn.
All right. So I too have been replaying games. I beat Red Dead Redemption 2. Shout out Arthur Morgan, yo. I love this game so much more the second time through. There's a lot of incredible parts. Rockstar outdone themselves. Still think he simped for Dutch a little too long. That's all I'm saying.
Facts.
But
He's like, what's that first king? That first king from the Game of Thrones? Too honorable.
Ned Stark?
he's like,
Yeah,
no,
when you have
Baratheon?
too much honor. Ned Stark.
yeah, I wasn't about that shit. But then I started playing Persona 5 again, a little farther. Already felt burnt out. Put it down real quick, and so I started playing The Last of Us Part 2.
You got the platinum though, right?
What?
You got the platinum?
And what?
Persona Royale?
No, I didn't beat it.
No, he gave it
I
up.
put it down. I'm taking a little break,
Damn,
man.
that
This
man just
Maruki
felt
shit is
defeated.
big. I'm like this close. I just need to do Maruki's Palace, beat the last boss, and I'm done. I'm out. And yeah, I'm gonna get the platinum. I only got like 2 more trophies. So
How did you feel about Morgana's human form?
honestly, I'm so disappointed. They built up this whole mystery, and it was just like, oh, Morgana was born in Mementos. Big fucking whoop. The story in this game is trash. It's garbage. I'm talking utter hot trash.
Damn.
The game is cool because of all the characters and the relationships you build and like the social aspect. Otherwise, I don't really like the gameplay. I don't really like anything about it. I'll be honest. Everything else is just like mediocre to me. Persona 5 Royale, I give you a 7.5 out of 10, okay? That's how I feel.
It's not too bad.
But I
That's
mean,
what I
everybody's giving this shit 10 out of 10, best game of all time, like shit like that. It's like, meh.
7.5 out of 10 is you're not going to feel bad if you get it full price, but you might want to wait for a sale.
That's that's how I feel about Aliens Fireteam. Another great game with your friends.
Is it? I've got that on Xbox Game Pass, and I've got it downloaded, but I haven't
It's
played
not.
it at all.
If it's crossplay, yeah, we could definitely check it out. There's better games like World War Z does it better. Back for Blood maybe does it a little bit better, but
Back 4 Blood definitely does it better.
Yeah, so but I'm gonna be honest. I watched the video on Back for Blood and versus Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead's a much better game.
I haven't played Left 4 Dead in a long time.
Seriously.
I don't know.
But Alien, another franchise where the first movie is better than all the other movies.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, it plays out very similar to the Terminator. There's 3 movies. They're all first movie is it has a very specific tone. Second movie, they go all in on the action. Third movie, they try to go back to the roots, but it never really quite hit. It's like the same. And then the fourth movie, they go off the tangent. You get Prometheus and you get Terminator Salvation. Just very different movies. And then the fifth movie is fucking. I don't want to watch them. Genesis or Alien Covenant. I don't want to watch them.
Well, there was that one where they brought back Ripley too, right? Which one was that one?
That one's pretty
Resurrection
good.
or something like that.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent one.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they
had that
find her.
underwater scene.
They find her genetic material or something, so they clone her or some shit. I forget exactly how it happened. It's been a long time.
Damn.
It's got what's her name from Stranger Things, the mom.
That shit also has major Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder's in that one.
Yeah, it has Matrix vibes.
Matrix.
Yeah. For some reason, it looked like the Matrix like influenced everything around that time.
I mean, 100%.
What is cool is that in Alien 1, at the very end of the movie, she goes into like a cryo sleep. and then she's just floating through space.
Oh yeah.
Then in Alien Isolation, the video game, I don't even remember because I didn't really play it like that. But you play as Ripley's daughter. I think she's basically trying to find Ripley. She has her own encounter with the alien, and you're sneaking and hiding. You're doing all that bullshit. Ripley gets back to civilization. It's like 80 years later, some bullshit like that. Like her kids are dead. Like when she gets out of cryo sleep, she don't know what the fuck what's going on. The world is different. And I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. Like she basically got to the far-flung future just because she got into like a cryo sleep for too long.
Man, that's crazy.
Hey, have they ever remastered the Max Payne games?
No.
Yeah.
I would play the shit out of a remaster of those games.
I replayed Max Payne at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was amazing. Still, like I played through the whole thing. I loved it. It was awesome.
I always found
The
that game.
story's good. The voiceover's good. The action's good. It's just a good game.
I always found that game crazy, dude. This man just takes some mad drugs and just goes out and dukes it out with everybody, guns blazing. I'm like, damn. In real life, this nigga would be dead the first dose of that medicine he's taking.
Oh man, how crazy was that bullet time the first time you did it in that fucking game though? The slow motion dive.
No, that shit was crazy. We would all run right into the action, then jump backwards. Like, da, 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 da. Yo, that game was fun, yo. That shit was really fucking cool. And it has a lot of like those like noir vibes, like those detective flicks and stuff, where these detectives, they're chain smoking cigarettes, they're they're fucking alcoholics. Like, so it's the same vibe. Right, exactly. It's the exact same vibes. Like he's popping painkillers left and right. It's just like trying to get to the root of like the type of characters those old like detective films were trying to depict. I don't know. I love Max Payne.
Can you imagine what that shit looks like to the people in real time? The man runs up on them fast as hell and just jumps backwards, and then they're all dead.
Should be weird. It would be shocking to see that as a witness. Be like, yo, what the fuck?
Yo, facts.
That
it'd be pretty
that
cool.
slow motion backwards dive takes 30 seconds in the game, but that's like 3 seconds in real life.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Starsky and Hutch when they walk into that apartment and then the little Chinese boy like flips the table and starts flinging knives at them like immediately, and they're like, "What the fuck's going on?" Like they don't even know what they're fighting against.
Yeah, real quick. In the third Max Payne, they actually address all of his painkiller and alcohol addiction. He goes cold turkey, and then like you have to play an entire mission with him going through withdrawals in Brazil.
Oh yeah. I remember that shit. That
I
shit is
never
the
played
worst.
Max Payne 3.
Max Payne 3 is pretty solid.
Yeah, it was the era of me being a broke college student. I missed out on all those games. I just didn't play anything.
Had a fun multiplayer too.
Yes.
I didn't play the multiplayer that much. I don't even play it at all. Now that I think about it. Yeah. But
How was your week, Tony?
week was straight, man. Fucking just work. Busy as hell. It's the first week of the new year, so it's just like swamped with a bunch of fucking paperwork and stuff like that. And just being a dad, nothing really too crazy. I have been playing It Takes Two with Pucho because it got the game of the year. Had to figure out why, but it's very colorful. Very storyline's pretty good too. I like how they did a bunch of like the gameplay of it. Like when we get to both pick, male or female characters, mom or dad or whatever, if you haven't played it, and the split screen though is the only thing that kind of bugs me in it, because I see everything on the left side of the screen is me, everything's on the right side is Pucho, and I would just rather have my own full screen if that was an option, and then Pucho has his own full screen because half the time I'm watching him and I need to be doing something, so it kind of distracts me. But
I mean, a way out is the same way, right?
yeah, we played that as well. We never beat it though, but no, yeah, it's great. And there was a little spoiler, but not really. They had the A Way Out characters, action figures in that game. Like we ducked off into the left room, and they were just talking to. It's pretty cool.
I would watch a stream of y'all playing A Way Out together. I feel like that shit would be funny as hell to watch.
Even this one, it was really funny. They have little mini games in the middle of the levels, and Pucho was playing tug of war with Tony, and that shit was hilarious.
Yeah, the mini games are dope. It'd be like as you're playing through the game, you'll randomly come up on what they call a mini game, and it allows you guys to go up against each other in some like random challenge.
Yeah.
So like in one, we were just it was like, you know, the carnival game where you shoot water at like the target and it moves like a boat across.
Mhm.
It's like that, except we're shooting the targets and they're moving towards each other. And every time it gets to your side, you like the other guy gets a point. So you're trying to like shoot all these targets. Tony beat me in that. We usually try these games like 3 times to get like a best out of 3. But the tug of war, all you got to do is tap a button. I play a lot of Final Fantasy VIII. Okay, for the people who are on here who play Final Fantasy VIII, there's a thing boost where you got to boost up your GF summons and you got to tap square like a fucking madman. So I've got a lot of practice in tapping buttons. All right, my fingers are powerful. I could grab hamburgers like no one else.
The man instantly beat me in tug of war.
Yo, like 4 times straight. But like the quickest deaths. I already knew from the beginning. I was like, yeah, this is Pucho got this shit.
Tony was like, no, we're running this back. And we did it like 4 times. Tony was like, man, this sucks. This is some bullshit. He's like, what are you doing over there? Like,
yo, those things physically hurt my hands. The breath of fresh air, the stars and the whole world opened up when accessibility options became available where you could turn those into holding. That's like, I love when they could let me do that.
I do the fingernail method where you just kind of rub with your fingernail. That's old school Nintendo 64 Mario Party days right there.
Yeah. Mario Party gave me
the tug of war, man. The
I'm a
rotating
master.
tug of war.
I'll be a master at the joystick tug of war shit, but that square button shit, yeah, no. For every one of my taps, he's tapped 15 times. I'm like, I can't beat this shit. Like I was getting mad. I'm like, yo, fuck this guy and his fucking finger over there just beating the shit out of me.
Shit was like Squid Game.
I was definitely dead. If that was a Squid Game thing, I was dead. But yeah, no, that game's fun. It looks amazing though. Like I could see, like I was shitting on it. I was like, why the fuck did this game get it? But just like the story and just how vibrant and the colors and everything was pretty fucking good.
The environment's also incredible because it reminds me of like Ants or like A Bug's Life. Like you're playing as like this little thing, but you're around a bunch of like house stuff. So it's like, I don't know, it's just an interesting environment, like going through fucking like electrical cables, like you're inside the cables, like you're like just little like a thumbtack or a marble and dice and batteries and a remote control, like all these things are like laid out in random ways. It's a messy fucking place, and it's just cool to like explore an environment like that. It's just very unique.
That's rad.
Yeah, I like it like that too.
Even the most recent area we're in, they introduced this concept because every level there's like a new gimmick. Like the first area was like Tony had a hammer and I could throw nails, and we would have to synergize to solve like a bunch of puzzles. The new area is like Tony has gravity boots and I could shrink or grow. I'm like Ant-Man, and it's actually really crazy. Like they built out the environment to such a degree that at first I was walking through this area that just seemed normal, like the floor like it just seemed like it was textured or whatever, like, you know, like an image. When I shrunk really down, it was actually like a model. So then all these little tile ridges that I was just walking over, not thinking about it, now they're like obstacles and stuff. And I just thought it was a very interesting level design. But
yeah,
that's cool.
They did a real good job. But I do want to drop some new music on y'all boys, man. Your boy Nas came through. Shout out to Nas. He's been in the game for a long ass time. But yeah, he dropped his album Magic. Shit, I don't know if you guys heard it. The viewers and the listeners out there, all of us four, I know we heard it. But man, Nas still got that trigger. That's all I gotta say. He still got that trigger, and it's him and Hit Boy, that collab, bro. I'm glad. I don't know who put them in the same room, but shout out to that dude. Because, you know, Nas for a while, you know, wasn't really making music like that. But this new Nas, you know, finding his pathway to our era or this era of music and still bringing and still being himself, fantastic. I fucks with that album hard.
It's incredible what Hit Boy has done in the last 10, 15 years of his career.
Yeah.
He went from a shitty rapper that used to get robbed everywhere to one of the best producers in the game. It's weird. He's like on top as far as like popular producers. He makes really good beats. I liked most of the album. I think the weakest offering is like the 4016 building. That's like the song I like the least. There's maybe one song at the end, but like as a bulk, it's like a solid offering. I think my favorite track on there has to be the one with DJ Premier. That one and I'm sorry, I'm wasting time here. There's one right before it. Let me pull this album up. Go ahead and no. Go ahead. You could talk about what you like about the album. I'll pull it up.
So one thing about Tony said Nas stopped making music or something. Like, he's been pretty consistently making music since like 94. Like, he had one little hiatus for like 60 years. That's like the biggest gap ever between like 2012 and like 2012, 2018 or whatever. But I mean, he's been dropping an album like every 3-ish. His average is probably like 3 years he'll drop another album.
You remember he tried to drop that album, the N word, but with the hard ER? Bro, it's called Untitled now. That shit is called Nas. That shit is just called Nas. It's like one of the worst ideas he ever had.
Yeah.
I think it was cool. I don't know. I think it's interesting. Like especially the interviews around that time period and stuff where he's kind of talking about like, I don't know. You could take it a lot of ways, right? I think it's meant to be provocative. Like, you could take it as him saying a slur or a bad word or whatever. Or
it was like
it could be about making white people uncomfortable. Or it could be that like, I mean, I think that word means like a king or something. Like, it's like a tribe in Africa, or maybe like one of the Hebrew tribes or something like that. I don't remember. But like, there's a lot of like, you know, maybe it's going back to the origin of the word, like trying to take it back and things like that. And that's when those are those years where Nas went like maybe I didn't even say those years because it was a little bit earlier too. But he's been on his going back to Africa shit since like forever, like going back to his roots and all that. Even in the movie Belly, like all he wanted to do in the movie was go to Africa. Like that was his whole character. He's like, I want to get up out this ghetto shit and move my ass to Africa. Like, but the album's great. It just sounds like a fucking classic Nas album. Like, you could put most Nas albums on and play them, and you can't really place it. Like, you could put this album in the 90s, and to me, it'll sound like it fits. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. It is an old school dirty hip hop album. Like, it's fantastic. It's great.
The production,
there's some slightly more modern beats and whatnot in there. Like, it's not straight
what he
like
needed.
But yeah, I mean, like, his rapping, his flow, everything it's just classic Nas. It's good.
Yeah, I think when people think like old, like real hip hop and things like that, I think they think of the sound of like Nas rapping. Like, that's at least what I think about. My favorite tracks on the album were definitely the opening song is amazing.
It's real good. That one hooked me immediately.
Right, you put that on. Even the album is so short that I had it on a loop. I was playing it. I was playing the album while I was just playing some random video game, and I heard the first song, and I'm like, "Oh shit! I gotta put this down. I gotta listen to this shit real quick." And then as the tracks were playing, once I finished the album, the next song came on, which was the first song again, and I'm like, "Oh shit! What song?" I'm like, "Oh man, it's the first song again." It just got my attention again. It's like it's that good. And then of course DJ Premier is my favorite producer, so I like that song. I wasn't too crazy about the hook and shit, but yeah, it was cool. It had I think, what was it, ASAP Rocky on the track though?
I think so. That sounds right.
So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I really don't have much to say about it, just because it's like, is to me is just regular Nas shit. Like I just don't, I enjoyed it. It was good. I don't have a lot of criticisms. I guess my only real criticism is like, it'd be nice for him to make a very different sound.
Yes.
And still be good, right? Like, but I don't know. Then again, it's like, he does one thing, which is be Nas, and he does it really fucking well. It's like, yeah, fuck it. Like, it's been a staple my whole life.
I was surprised by the same thing as you, man. I didn't realize he was still putting out albums. I went and looked him up on Spotify. I was like, holy shit. He's still been making music.
A lot of people say
and those last two albums, King's Disease 1 and 2, they're good, man.
I also heard that those albums are really solid, and I'm gonna go take a look at them.
I'm trying to remember. Was it Nas that was part of the? Did Kanye produce King's Disease?
Something like that. One of those.
Yeah.
The one you remember when Kanye came out with an album with Kid Cudi, and then he came out with
Kid See Ghost,
and then around that time he also did a Nas album.
Huh.
Yeah, where Nas, or not Nas, but where Kanye was like producing all these. Oh no, King's Disease is kind of long. Maybe maybe it was Nas' year. I don't remember. Kanye had produced like a group of albums, and they were all like 7-track albums or whatever. They're all really short albums, but he had produced like 3 or 4 albums. It was like I think it was the Nas album, maybe Big Sean, and dude, oh my god, his name is like fucking erasing from my head.
I do appreciate clips. I do appreciate albums that are like have
Pusha
T album, exactly.
Was it Closing Caskets or some shit? Crosses and Caskets, I think it was.
I don't remember. I don't pay attention that much. I just listen to the shit. I don't even look at the track list most of the time.
I do like when they do albums like 8 or 9, 10 songs max, because I feel like they're giving the best quality of music and not just trying to fill in a whole bunch of stupid shit, just to throw in. Because I mean, you're picking
100%. If a fucking album's more than 12 songs, I'm like, there's like 3 garbage songs on this album. All for real.
Who else has lasted in hip hop as long as Nas?
Hove,
Jay-Z, nobody longer. Like,
Eminem,
I mean, Kanye
I guess.
longer, I guess, but Jigga's dropped consistent shit. He helped other artists like Kanye West come out, like shit like that, like Rihanna, like all these people. Like, yeah, the dude has built like an empire out of his music. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Eminem, not as long as Nas, but I mean, it's what, like 5 years less. Like, that's a long run.
I think Eminem's first album came out in '96. Is that right?
Yeah, you're right. 97, that time frame.
Yeah, because I guess Infinite was an EP and LP. I forget what the difference is, but it was one of those. And then he did My Name Is, or the Slim Shady LP, or whatever the fuck it was, in the next year.
Those LP EP shits are for dicks. Like, them shits is ridiculous. Just
it serves a purpose.
I don't know what that shit means, actually. I don't know what purpose it serves. You got some knowledge?
Yeah. So it's back from when they used to make vinyls. And it's funny that Tony thinks EPs, LPs are for dicks. It's exactly what Tony wants. It's like, let's put out a small record. Like, so a record is one song, typically. Sometimes it'll have 2
single
on the other side, which is like maybe the instrumental or some type of remix will be on the other side. Then there's an EP, which would be like 4 songs. It's an extended play, so it's just a little longer than a record. And then there's an LP, which is a long play. It might have like 8 tracks on there. And then there's albums, which have, maybe 10 or 12 tracks on there. So that's kind of how the naming thing goes. So I mean, I think it's awesome when people drop like a little project. Like, yo, here's 4 tracks. They're fucking crack. Like, you're literally putting out the shit that you think is just fire.
And just to clarify,
I think that's incredible.
It's just the titles that I don't like. Like, fuck all this EP, LP. Just drop it. If it's 4 tracks, just drop it. That's it. I'm cool with it.
It's how you know what they're dropping.
Right. It's how you know. You like to know if something's a mixtape. You like to know if something's an album.
Exactly.
Like, it's a way to differentiate. Like, hey, these are just like a teaser into what I'm about to drop later. Maybe these are going to be on my album. Maybe they're not going to be. And like, that's good to know. But
although I've had mixtapes be album quality and albums be mixtape quality. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but that should be happening. You're like, yo, this mixtape is like an album good. Like there's so much direction. It's just built so well. I could say like Big Crit, some of his first mixtapes, I was like, man, these are fucking albums, bro. These are like, there's so much going on here that I'm like into. But the song, my favorite song on this album is Hollywood Gangsta. And that right when I heard it, I was like, this sounds like Nas to me so much. Like just off of the first few seconds, his raps, that shit is a 10 out of 10 song. Fucking phenomenal. For me, that's where like the album started to apex. I was like, oh shit, this album is fucking fire. And then DJ Premier, one of my favorite producers. This guy's got to be like top 5 at the end of the day. Like, incredible person.
Is Nas woke now? He did that song with Willow Nas X, right?
I mean, that's awesome. I hope that he's opening doors for that type of inclusion.
But I don't remember if Nas was one of those rappers back in the day that had a lot of like homophobic shit in his songs or not, honestly.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, I think he definitely had like I think everybody, man, it's just part of being in the hood and being of that era is that like you don't like drug addicts, you don't like gay people, you don't like all this stuff is bad. Like, and I mean, that sucks. Over time, these things are changing. Like you got artists like Lil Nas X that are popping and he's openly bisexual, I think, or maybe he's just gay.
He's gay.
Like, I think he's just gay.
Right. And so that's just fire. Like, and Nas, maybe it isn't. Maybe it is a woke thing. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I know in general, Nas just loves black people, and he's all about like helping his brother and all of that type of shit. So like, it could come from a woke place. It could just come from like a, hey, we both got Nas in our name. Let's fucking make a track or something like that'll be cool or whatever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Either way, it's good because it's just good for hip hop. Like it's good that people see, oh, Nas is collaborating with the gay kid that everybody's hating on. Like, and that's gonna open doors both for Lil Nas X and for other artists that maybe are also part of the LGBT community and need like that, that people to be a little bit more open to collaborate with and stuff like that. Move hip hop away from this ultra homophobic place to just being more open, I think. But.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Did he ever say how he came up about his name, Little Nas X? Like, is it just?
It's a troll. He was a Nicki Minaj stan account, and then he started to do his own art and his own shit. He's a very funny person. Before he became super famous, he would troll people. He's just really funny. And it's really just it was around the time XXX Tentacion. And so basically he just trolled a name, Lil Nas X. It's like you're taking the new, mixing a little of the old, and then adding an X at the end. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, very creative though. He's a real creative kid, yo. Watching him explode into a star, one of my favorite things on Twitter. You'll see that shit on Twitter happen. People will just start getting more popular, and then just pop into stardom.
Also, you don't really see as much as going back to Nas is that he started rapping and dropping fucking music when he was like in like junior high.
I think it was 13.
Nas.
God damn.
Bro, like, and he was spitting some raw shit. Man,
fire.
Like, his environment, that's what he was spitting like, and that to me shows like, damn, bro, like this man had a good penmanship back in the days, and he had like, he sees everything, right? I don't know, I never lived in New York, so obviously everyone has their own struggles and stuff, but man, was he in poetry? Like, was that helpful at all in school? I don't know if he was in poetry class or not, because the man can write from a young age, like. Shit was nasty. It's like he was given this, like he was born with this talent. You know what I mean? Like some people work for it, But 13 years old, dropping some fire that you got adults like banging their heads to.
Yeah, I mean, Illmatic is quite possibly next to like the Jay-Z album and like maybe Biggie's album. I mean, they're all up there as like some of the best hip hop material out. Big L was a big influence on some of those sounds too. That Premiere and Gangstar like bled into there. Oh, he even does something on one of these tracks. He does that old school Jay-Z flow. Yeah, he does that. It was when he started doing that, I thought that was real cool.
And his Magic album?
Yeah.
What song was
on
that?
this Magic album. I forget, but if I listen to it again and I hear
You'll know right away.
Yeah, I'll know
It's
right
so
away.
not Nas's flow that it's
Yeah.
you're like, whoa. That and the hook on one of those songs sounded like a callback to Jigga using Nas's like what is it in Dead Presidents, right? Jigga uses a Nas from New York State of Mind. I'm out, wait, maybe I don't know. He uses I'm out for presidents to represent me, and that's like the beat in Dead Presidents. It's just like playing throughout the whole track. On a Jay-Z song, like he bought the sample or whatever. And on this, he didn't use a Jay-Z sample, but it sounded like he was trying to recreate a sound similar to that sample on one of the tracks. I can't remember what it was saying. But it was just something I was thinking about. I was like, oh man, it's like, okay, he used like the Jigga flow on this little part. Oh, this thing that he's like creating, it sounds like that sample. Like it sounds like he's trying to like maybe not pay homage, but like kind of, give a callback to that era or something, I don't know. I thought it was dope.
That's wild.
I thought that was very cool.
Like it was funny too, because as soon as I heard it, I called Brian right away, Pucho's brother. I was like, yo, B, you got to go listen to this album. He's like, what album? I'm like, Nas album. He's like, oh, yeah, I was going to give it a try. This and that. I was like, bro, just go and listen to it. Hung up the phone or whatever. I texted him. I'm like, yo, there's two tracks that I automatically was just like, oh, this is. I think of Brian when I'm listening to this track, which was Woo for the Children and Wave Gods. I don't know why. Those two tracks just put me to where I just think of Brian, because how Brian's mannerisms and how he is. Like, Brian loves the kids, like Trick Daddy. He loves the kids, you know what I mean? So with the people and shit. So I immediately called him and told him to go listen to it. He calls me back. He's like, yo, Tone. Like, what happened? Nas wrote this for me, nigga. I was like, oh shit, I'm glad you liked it, because that's why, like, I heard it and I thought of you. He was like, nah, nigga. That nigga wrote that shit for me. I'm like, damn, so you like the album? Yeah, I like this. Yeah, I like it. He didn't call it a classic. A lot of people are quick to drop these classic lines, which
you can't drop it that quick.
Yeah. Even though it's Nas, like maybe he gets like an automatic classic fucking thing, but nah, you gotta let shit rest for a little bit.
The shit is OD to me because like E's favorite rapper is Nas. And he be hating every fucking thing Nas drops. I'm like, I don't get that shit. Like, we sit down and listen to a Nas album, he'd be like, it was all right. I'm like, yo, this shit is amazing. Like it's like he's so critical on Nas, it's crazy. But he'll always say, yeah, this is my all-time favorite rapper. And then, yeah, my brother fucking loves Nas. Like, we grew up, like, Nas is like one of my brother's, like, first, like, I don't know. As a kid, you look up to these people, right? Like, we all got the Nas haircut, with the fade back in the day, with the fucking part, all that shit. Like we love Nas, like, growing up. So yeah, Brian, even the way you framed the story, like you called Brian and convinced him to listen to the Nas album, it's like Brian's listening to the album no matter what. Like that's happening. Like,
he was gonna listen to it, but the way he sounded, like, oh yeah, like I'll listen to it later or what. I was like, no, just stop what you're doing and just listen to it. And boom, like, yeah, I wasn't trying to say like I had to convince him to give it a try. Like, nah, Brian listens to fucking music. Like, we have arguments all the time. Not arguments, discussions at his house when we all chill together. It's like, just like the other day we was chilling. Pucha wanted to be a dick and troll me. He was like, yeah, Tony don't even. It was, bro, I was getting mad because these Brian and E are there, and these niggas is believing Pucho. And I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, I don't care no more. Yes, I agree with everything Pucho's saying. Like, I forgot what one of them was.
It's just that my brother and E are so gullible. Like you could say anything, and it's not that they would believe it, but they would consider it. Like, and so I'll be like, "Yo, the first album Tony ever listened to was like a Trick Daddy album or something." I just make up. I was just making up fun facts. I was like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yo." Tony has never listened to a Nas album or something. I'll just say shit like that in the middle of us talking about hip hop, and they'll be like, "Word," like they're questioning it, and it's like, and I was just coming up with the most outrageous stuff, like it was the only rapper Tony listened to till the mid 2000s was Big Pun or something. Like I was just making shit like that up.
He was like, Tony didn't even know Big Pun was Puerto Rican.
Yeah. He used to think Big Pun was Cuban or something. I said some shit like, what the fuck?
Then he drops another one. He was like, yeah, he doesn't even know the color of his own Mexican flag. He was mixing the Italian flag with Mexico.
Yeah. I said, yo, Tony used to fly the Cuban flag, but tell people he was Puerto Rican. That's what I said. And they were like, what the fuck is wrong with this?
Yeah,
I'm like, I was just saying random shit, but they'll consider anything.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at them like, bro. The man, I was, you know what? Yeah, he's right. And then Brian would be like, "Yo, Tone," he'll chat me. He'd be like, "Yo, Tone, you serious, my nigga?" I'm like, "Yo, Brian, he's talking shit." And then meanwhile, another fun fact from Pucho. It's like, bro, fuck out of here.
That's what was getting Tony tight, was that I was pumping him out so quick he couldn't defend anything.
I couldn't.
He'd be like, I'll say one thing, then Tony's like, nah, and I'd be like, yo, this motherfucker, and I'll just make up the next thing, and he's like, oh. Whatever. Everything Pucho says is true. Like he just got tagged.
Yeah, I couldn't stop it. It was a barrage of attacks. I was like,
it's because you attacked me first, and I don't remember what it was, but I match energies. Okay, that's how I live my life. You're gonna be an asshole to me, I'm gonna be an asshole. But I mean, a bigger asshole. Maybe I escalate. Maybe I don't mad. I take your energy and I escalate from there. That's what I do.
Yeah, he doesn't have a zero negative energy starting point. He just starts if you're at 10, he's at a 15 now, and he's gonna just keep going up to the roof. Like, fuck out of here. These lies. I don't know the Mexican flag. I was flying Cuban flags. Like, what the fuck? These niggas is believing this, chewing this shit up. I'm just like, I can't even defend, because the moment I defend, he's hitting me with another barrage, and then they stop talking about it and move to the next barrage. It's like, can we finish one attack and then move to the next attack? Like, but nah, yeah, fucking Nas definitely. Also, when he did drop the album, he also commented that, A King Disease 3 is also going to be dropping. Did you guys hear that? No. That's what he said. I googled it. And supposedly he's dropping a KD3, and I guess Hit Boy's on that too. But yeah, Wave Gods, Who Are the Children are like one of my favorites, and for some reason, to Meet Joe Black. Very I don't know what it was, but it maybe the sound waves or something. It's just like you listen to, you know how you listen to an album and then it kind of makes you do like a double take, like, wait, what is this? And then you have to look at the track name or whatever, the track, like whatever, and then go back to it and just replay it just to hear it. That definitely did it, because it just felt like that shit came from, like, I don't think it was for the album, but they just put it in from another list of music that he probably made. I don't know. It was weird, but good. And I don't know. I like it. I also don't get this whole writer shit. Like, right here it says all tracks written by Jones and Chauncey Hollis, which is Hit Boy. But when they say writing, does they mean like they're writing the lyrics, or it's just like the
Yeah, that should be the lyrics.
I think there's this new thing in hip hop where they're trying to give producers more props, and they're putting them in like the byline. Like, no way did Hit Boy sit there and write Nas's bars. Like,
yeah,
he might have helped with a chorus or something too.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. That happens a lot in like just the nuances in producing. You go back and forth. You're in the booth there. You pumping him. He's like, yo, put me in. It's a lot of little nuances, and they'll be like, yo, why don't you say this? Try to say this and see how it sounds and stuff like that. And like very small things get put in, and you get credit for that. Like sometimes you will get credited for writing.
Calling producers. I think we're so used to films where producers just like
Front the money.
the guy who fronts the money and maybe helps out with some logistical things. Like I feel like producers are more like directors. Like your writer writes his script and then he goes in there and he performs it. Right? He's like the writer and the actor. But then the producers oftentimes telling you, oh, switch this up, switch that up. Oh, we should make ad libs here, like things like that, where the artist maybe isn't thinking all the way through for the whole sound of the track. Like he's just trying to get his paper in a track, like what he got, right? And so oftentimes the producers help so much with that regard that make some of these tracks sound way better than they would have otherwise. And then they don't really get like the level of recognition. So a lot of times you'll see like featuring a producer and the producer don't say a single song, a word on the song. And you're like, what does that mean? That it featured fucking such and such. Like
the only reason why I like any of those Lil Dicky songs from Dave is because his production is so fucking good.
That's a fact.
His beats are good. He's got like everything is well done in the track except for maybe the lyrics. The lyrics are the weakest part of that shit.
When he gets out of that little walk. What happened?
I was gonna say, you said that Lil Dicky has the best like lyrics. Like he's a lyricist. That's what you said.
No. I said that I don't like Dicky's music in real life, but I really like the music on the show. There's like, I don't know what is the difference in producing there, but he needs to stick to that type of music that he does on the show. And I think he'll do very well. I go to YouTube and try to watch his music videos, and I'm like, oh, this is not for me. But I could watch, the stuff on his show. Real quick before we wrap this up, I want to get two things. A 1 through 10 review rating on the album, and then like talk about what sound. What do you give the sound of the album? Was the sound good? Lyrics, stuff like that. Wrapping it up so we can have some sort of like where we're at with the album. I'll go first. Lyrics, I think this album, he's a strong lyricist, so I'm putting him up at like an 8. I'm like, this is a very lyrical album. Maybe a little too lyrical in some respects. Maybe I'm like, yo, you need to tone it down in a little bit. Like 4016 Building, I skip that song every single time. I'm like, oh, this is not for me. Other than that, like, I think he's very strong lyricist. He knows how to put words together. He's these new beats, these fresher beats sound good on him. And I think this is like a very strong offering. I'm giving it like an 8, the album, for lyricism. I think the beats as well, I'd give it like an 8. It's not perfect, but it's really...
So overall, you're giving it an 8.
Album an 8. Yeah, I'm gonna give the album an 8, a strong 8. I think there's 2 throwaway tracks. 2 tracks that I'm like, that don't really work for me. But other than that, I could pretty much listen to this album through.
What about you, Mateo?
We'll do an 8. My only complaint is exactly what Bucho said. I wish that it'd be cool to hear Nas try a new sound or something, just mix it up a little bit. But it's old school hip hop. It sounds good as hell. Put it with any of his other albums, honestly.
All right, Pooch. Same as Mateo.
I mean, I give him like an 8.5. I loved it. I listened to it front to back 2 times. I won't skip any songs. I liked it. Again, what Mateo said, I'll say it again. I'd like if he could just find a new sound that like I find that like artists like Jay-Z, Kanye, they change their sound significantly, and they're still, and then to their detriment, in my opinion. Well, not to Kanye's, but like I don't like Jigga's new stuff as much. Like I'm still stuck in I'm 90s, early 2000s Hove. Like that's my era. I don't listen to his new music, even though he's my favorite artist, right? It would be nice if Nas could like step out of his comfort, do something different, and it'd still be cool. But this is like run of the mill Nas shit. It's not nothing to write home about, but it's good. Like I like it.
Yeah. I guess I'm in between with all of you guys as well. I do not skip any tracks. I can listen to it all the way through, no problem. Beat and all that's great. Me overall, I'll give that like a almost a 9, like an 8.8 or some shit. Like, cause it's like it could be a 10, but like also what Pujo said, like maybe if you would have jumped out a little bit more into a new realm. But also I like that it's old school Nas. I like that Nas.
Facts.
You know what I mean? That's what we got. Like all this new shit, yeah, I like it too, but you can't go wrong with a classic Nas. You know what I mean? Like, just shit lasts forever. But yeah, shout out to the album. Like it. The album cover picture shit. Weird. I don't know how that goes correlation with Magic, but anyway, I like it. So we also have another hot album that was also that also dropped. And he has a little bit of controversy behind it, his story and his what the fuck he does. But you know, make him dance, Tory fucking Lanez.
Oh my god.
Opening with the
would
most
say-
controversial shit.
Some would say he's blackballed in the industry right now.
I don't know, man. His album Alone at Prom, 80s vibe, shit is it was weird at first, right? The whole 80s shit music thing, but I gotta say, I listened to it 2-3 times and I got I like a couple of the songs. I don't like everything, but shit is it's a new Tory Lanez, put it like that. It's none of his old shit.
It's some shit that I can put on and I can just do other shit too. Like it's just good, mellow, chill background noise. I loved the 80s inspired beats. I kind of hate when they repurpose like hooks in songs and choruses in songs, but that first fucking track pulled it the fuck off, dude. It's so good.
Oh, Enchanted Waterfalls?
Mm-hmm.
It was weird. I didn't really like it that much. That one was just like the sound is cool, but it's just so long for unnecessary. Like,
It did feel like a long song. I will give you that. But I think that his beats are kind of like sleepy and dreamy too, so it makes the songs feel longer.
some real like Enchanted Forest type albums. Just mad. All I could think of when I listened to this album, all the sound waves and all that shit is fucking Blade Runner. That's all I can think of. Like or Drive, the movie Drive, how that synthesizer fucking
Blade Runner's all I think
shit.
about at all times. Any given moment, ask me what I'm thinking about, it's probably Blade Runner.
Yo, bad 80s music haircut. Like that's all I'm doing when I'm listening.
Doughboy's going back to the dancing for the audio listeners.
Real
Nah,
cheesy
I-
dancing.
I enjoyed the album. I thought it was good. I don't have any like prior baggage. Like I know there's other people that dislike the album. Tony's saying it's a brand new song. I've never listened to a single Tory Lanez song even.
Same.
So sitting down and listening to this album is my first Tory Lanez experience. And I was actually surprised. This guy's a little guy, by the way. He's tiny. Fucking
Man.
Chris sent me a video of him rapping on Sway in the morning. And he's sitting in the chair rapping. When he stands up, he's the same fucking height. It's just hilarious. but it was just interesting to see. Like, oh, is he a rapper? This guy?
Yes.
Okay, because I saw him rapping. He was freestyling on Sway, and I'm like, this sounds nothing like his album. Like,
Nah,
so I don't.
It's-
Like I said, I don't have any of these like prior like what I expected out of this. Like I just sat down, listened to it, and thought it was cool.
And I know that it's a hip hop album, but is it a rap album? Because I got like
No.
R&B chill hop kind of
This
vibes
is
from
a-
it more than.
This is R&B for sure.
I wouldn't even. This is a pop album. I wouldn't call
Yeah.
this R&B, and I wouldn't call it hip hop. Like
It's whatever The Weeknd is doing.
right, that ain't R&B, and that ain't hip hop. Like that's just straight up pop. Like he's just making like that fucking Michael Jackson type of me. He's just singing on a record with
For me,
random beats. Like
I've been watching Tory Lanez for a long time, and I've never really found him very exceptional. I feel like he bites off of a lot of different people and like doesn't do it. He was really going after Drake. It was so weird. He had a really weird obsession with Drake early on in his career. And he wanted Drake to acknowledge his existence or some bullshit like that. It was so weird.
Because they're Canadian rappers.
Yeah, he's both Canadian. Drake's Canadian, but I think he has some sort of Napoleon complex. Some weird fucking, like, it's weird. I think with this album, he finally jacked somebody and did it exceptionally.
Who did he jack?
The Weeknd, like very obviously.
How did he jack The Weeknd?
It's just the sound, the sound of the album, the direction. It just sounds like a Weeknd album.
Have you listened to The Weeknd, Tony?
Yeah, the past
His
two
new
or
album
three
or
albums.
the last two albums?
Yeah,
just in general.
I don't really
Even
listen
the
to The
new
Weeknd
album.
like that at all.
Yeah, so
You should listen to him. It's like this sound. It's like a 80s type vibe, singing over like, I don't know, like synthy beats and stuff.
That's weird.
I got some Drake vibes from this one too, like that Certified Lover Boy album that y'all made us listen to. I could see some parallels with that album and this one with some of the beats and whatnot.
That's weird because I listened to Weeknd's album. It dropped Friday, yesterday. And this shit sounds just like Tory Lanez's album. But the Weeknd's album, right? And I'm not trying to go into The Weeknd, but I'm talking about Tory Lanez, but that shit goes way more into like a 80s. That's like a deeper dive into the 80s. Like Tory Lanez I feel like just scratches the surface of the 80s, and it's great. I like it compared to The Weeknd's fucking deep dive of the 80s. You know what I mean? But
I think personally, this might be Tory Lanez's best body of work. Like I really I don't really listen to him too much, but like nothing that he's put out really has caught my. I know that he did like one album where he tried to bring back like old styles of music and old songs.
yeah, his biggest song
And
was
like,
Jerry Splunger. It's a T-Pain
Yeah.
thing. Like that music drop. When he dropped that shit was fucking great. Like he
yeah, so
dropped.
I know everybody liked that, but I didn't really like that like really as much as everyone else. This shit. In the beginning, I started listening to this album like 3-4 weeks ago, and I fucking hated it. And now I can't stop listening to it. It's like it's grown on me. It's seeped in. All the songs that I hated, I love them now. And I'm like, what is this shit? It's weird.
I'm glad.
But
I'm
Go
glad
ahead.
you admitted it, because
yeah.
in the party chat, I swear to God, I told you like, yo, you and Chris was disrespecting this fucking album.
Yeah.
And you was like, nah. I'm like, bro, I heard you say this album was trash. But
First
I'm
it
glad.
was like-
I said nah, that Doey liked the album. I was the one who told you. Nah, I don't think he was trashing. He said he liked the album. It was just Chris that was really trashing.
No, it was
But maybe
both of
I
them.
Doey
was
was
kind of
trashing it
I was
before.
trashing with Chris. I kind of
Trish.
liked
Trish.
I kind of liked like doing that, but first it started like 2 songs. I was like, all right, there's 2 good songs on here. Then it was 3, then it was 4, and now I catch myself listening to the entire album and like finding new songs that I like. I honestly, the shit is for me very, very good. I give this album like a very high praise. I like it a lot.
Yeah. So I wrote some notes about a few songs because
ooh.
there were a couple things that stood out to me.
Okay.
The Enchanted Waterfall is just straight up Jack and Careless Whisper. So when Tony says that it's just scratching the surface of the 80s, I disagree. I feel like it's diving deep. It's finding songs, recreating little bits of these old songs in a way that I think a lot of the people that are listening to these albums don't realize. So Careless Whisper, old ass song from the 80s. Yeah, this shit got the exact same notes, so to speak. So I was listening to it. I'm like, oh shit. Even the same inflections. I was like, oh, this sounds just like. I had to go back and play Careless Whisper, and I was like, oh man, this guy straight jacked this little phrase here. Like, and then another song, Pluto's Last Comet, just straight up jacking Rick Astley. It sounds
so good.
But it's Rick Astley. It's fucking Rick rolled. Like it's that song that never gonna give you up. Like it's not the chorus part. It's the fucking like the verse,
beat?
so to speak.
Oh,
If you listen to the verse and then go back and listen to that song, Pluto's Last Comment, you're gonna go, oh shit, he's straight jacking the flow and the vibe of this track. I was like, this is ridiculous. This is blatant. Like I was like, this is
awesome.
ridiculous.
I love that song so much. That's one of my favorite songs on there.
My favorite song on the album was The Color Violet. I was like, it has such a good 80s vibe. It was just a good sound, and I was like, man, this has a good vibe. I don't even remember a word he said on the album because it's so background music to me that it's like I'm not listening to the content really. He's just singing about women pretty much. It's like the whole fucking album.
I love when he goes, but playboys, we don't dance, bitch. Bam, bam. And shoots her twice in the foot on the song. And he says, she took my heart and filled it with pain. He took that foot and filled it with fucking pain. All right.
With lead.
We'll get into that real soon. Then there's a track on there, Lady of Namek. And I was like another good song. But I was wondering, like, is this a Dragon Ball Z reference?
For sure.
It has to be.
Because that one I played it back and I like really listened to it, and I didn't really hear like any references that was like, oh, this is clearly referencing like Dragon Ball Z.
Other than the name. That's it. Namek.
Right. So yeah, overall, I thought the album was good. I give it a cool, like an 8.5. Like it's listenable. It's for me more background shit. I'm not gonna sit there and like analyze the fuck out of it. I like that it has a very it's able to like make like a new sound. Like it sounds new to me, but it's still like also nostalgic at the same time. And I feel like The Weeknd has those vibes as well, which is, like Dowie said, it's like he jacked somebody, but he did it exceptionally.
Yes.
So it may even sound better than The Weeknd's album. I haven't listened to the shit he just dropped, but
yeah, that Pink Dolphin Sunset is so like I love that song. That's the song that initially hooked me into the album.
The only song I would literally skip is the intro, the Enchanted Waterfall. That's the only song I would skip. It's just too long for me. It's
long.
I don't fuck with it. But other than that,
the second time through the album, I listened to like fucking 3.5 minutes of the song, and then I hit next. I was like, all right, I had enough. It's just too fucking long. Like
way
it's
too
like
long.
a 5.5 minute track or some shit.
No, it's only 3 minutes and 20.
Wow,
yeah,
so it just feels hefty.
It feels.
That's what I was saying. That the way that the beat is put together in that song, it makes it feel so long.
Yeah. Other than the midnight or track 3, it's the shortest fucking track in the whole fucking thing, bro. It's wild. But it just feels hefty. Like,
yeah. Like in contrast to Nas's shit, I felt like Nas's album was short and the songs were pretty short. They're all like 3 minutes long. I don't know. I felt like I saw a couple 5-minute tracks on this album. I'm like, yo, this is too fucking hefty. Like,
yeah, no, there's 4:15 and 4:19. So those might be the 5-minute tracks. That
I don't know.
Yeah. No, listen, music, I try to go back and listen to old 90s music. I'm like, yo, these songs are 5 minutes. Like, what are we doing here?
You want the flip side of that? Start getting into like old school punk rock, and their songs are like 1.5 minutes long. Or like
I love that.
40 seconds long.
I really like that style of music, that real hard and quick.
I think the perfect track is like 3:12, 3:15. I don't think you want to go past that. When you get them 2-minute songs, you feel, especially with hip hop, because the choruses take up space. Like for example, the fucking like Method Man and Redman track is on.
Beautiful.
It's a good song.
Oh,
the Rock Wilder. It's only like 2 minutes and some change. It feels too short. It feels like I just didn't get enough of them on the song. Like I feel like I just needed like another like 20 seconds of pop. Like that
might be the greatest song in hip hop, with accompanied by video. That song is incredible. I remember the first time I heard that song, I was in Florida, and the guy had like a really good car system. It was one of my mom's boyfriends. Quick side note, when she broke up with him, he came back to the house. He wanted his basketball and his PS1 games back. And I did not give him the PS1 games. I gave him the basketball though. But yeah, that song sounded amazing.
He wanted his basketball back.
He says, he knocked on the door. I'm like 9 years old. I open up and he's like, I want my basketball back.
Wait, how old was this guy? What the fuck?
He was obviously not that old in the brain. He was fucking a dickhead. Yeah, but
you should have whipped out. You should have whipped out your Nerf guns and told him, "Dance, bitch."
But nah, yeah. I was gonna say something. That Pink Dolphin Sunset though. Is it the what grabbed you? Was it? It wasn't the lyrics. Was it the beat?
Oh nah, everything. This album is like it creates an entire vibe, and like this the vibe of this album and these songs, they just grab me. I really like singing. I like some R&B. I like chopping and screwing R&B, and I could really like hear myself like doing stuff to this album.
Oh,
and
like
just
chopping and screwing.
Yeah, just certain things about I gotta like put the song on in order to give you like that play-by-play.
Nah, let's not get it shut down.
But it's like it's so atmospheric.
I've got a tangent, but it's related because the ranking system, like where do you rank this 1 to 10? Brought this to mind because I think that the 1 to 10 is such a flawed system for ranking things. Because I've been watching a lot of old school boxing recently, right? Watching a lot of old boxing matches, and there was one in particular. I forget who I was watching, but they were talking about the announcers were talking about how flawed the boxing point system is, right? Bucha knows this. 10-9 is the traditional, right? Someone loses the round, someone wins the round. You get 10-9. If you get knocked down, that's a 10-8, right? And that's all they ever use. That's all they use in this whole 10-point system that they have is just 10-9, 10-8. And he was talking about
really fucked up. You get knocked down like 3 times, they might give you a 10-7. But beyond that, they don't fuck around.
But he was talking about how they need to start using the full 10-point system. Like maybe 10-9 it's a close round. 10-8 is you got your ass kicked. You didn't get knocked down, but you got your ass kicked. You were fighting on the back of your feet the entire time or something. 10-7 is you're knocked. Like I think it's an interesting thing about like these 10-point systems we use, and then we don't use any of them.
Yeah, I think we've like as flawed as it is, I think it's like I think of it like our 2-party system is like you start off with all these parties, and because of the rules that we vote by, you end up with just 2 no matter what. Mm-hmm. And I think boxing's the same way. I think it leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth if someone gets so fucked up in one round. Let's say you give it a 10-1, and then the rest of the fight you score like just 10-9 and blah blah blah, and then you read the scorecards, and then you're like, oh, this guy lost, even though he won like every single round after that because he got one bad round. It's so doing all the variable scoring stuff, I think it could create weird discrepancies like that. And I think they've settled on just like this set of rules for scoring. But yeah, I'm more in the camp of I'm kind of not a big fan of scoring things in general. I'm more like listen to it or don't listen to it. I'm as a software guy, okay. Mm-hmm. I'm binary with this shit, okay? I give it a 0 or a 1. You ain't getting nothing else. It's either I don't want to hear it or go ahead and hear it, okay? Play it, don't play it. Like
the score really just creates controversy. That's all that really does. Like for me, this is a 10 album.
Oh, you're fucking tripping.
Yeah. Damn. So the 10 album for me. It's grown on me. It's grown on me. I really like it, and I give it a 10. I come back to it. I've put it on my playlist.
He's gonna go and listen to Careless Whisper, then go listen to Never Gonna Give You Up, and he's gonna go back and listen to Tory Lanez album. He's like, damn, dude, this dude's straight jacking.
So is it confirmed that he shot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot or not? I couldn't figure out from all the shit that I was reading.
It's not confirmed.
If it's confirmed, why was the man never charged with it? Was he charged? I didn't read anything where it said he was actually charged with shooting her in the fucking foot.
The whole foot thing is a pretty new development. I think back then he got arrested for having a gun on him.
Yeah.
And then the way that she puts the story is like she was afraid of saying, yo, he shot me in the foot to the cops because then the cops were going to get violent. And she's like, she didn't want to get in the middle of, cops shooting into the car at this guy while she was in the car or anything like that. Like, so she was like, that's what she says. Like, she was trying to look out for her own safety. Then later, after the fact, she told them like, okay, these injuries on my foot were
he did it.
Yeah, from the gun. But then again, it's like the cops on the scene must see that she's bleeding profusely. Like it should look like a gunshot. She said, "Oh, I stepped on glass." It's like you got a fucking hole in the top of your foot. Like what the fuck you mean you stepped on glass? Like
I would have loved to have somebody inside that car record what the fuck happened, because how the fuck do you go out and just shoot somebody like in the foot? Even though I've been saying it for years that I wanted to do that to Michael, may he rest in peace, but. Like this man literally shot somebody in the fucking foot. Like, did it accidentally go off? Did you was really trying to make her dance type shit in the whip? Like, it's just
the whole dance bitch joke that we keep saying is because in the story that she put out, she said that he was shooting at her feet and yelling at her to dance, bitch. Like if he was the fucking. Who's the Looney Tune guys with the guns?
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam. Like, da, 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 da. I don't know why. It's fucked up that we're laughing so much about this. Okay, I was thinking about it this morning while shaving my head, okay? We ghetto bastards, we have a very skewed perception on what's funny. Like, for example, the other day, there was a video of a guy going into a barbershop and shooting the shit out of a barber.
Oh,
and then someone else turning around and shooting him in the head. So it's a video with 2 murders. And we're all laughing about this video because the guy across from the shooting was sitting in his chair. He was getting the hot towel treatment. You know, we all love the hot towel treatment.
Facts.
He has the hot towel on his face. And the guy, there's a shootout, right? The guy shoots one guy, then the guy in the chair gets up and shoots the other guy. The guy doesn't budge, not a fucking inch. And we found that shit hilarious, right? So we're already looking past the fact that there's 2 murders in this video and we're making jokes about the guy in the chair. So it's like we have such a skewed perception when it comes to violence and shit that I don't know if it's just like we grew up, violence was so regular that someone getting shot in the foot is not that shocking. It's like, all right, yeah, he's a piece of shit. He should go to jail for that. But wasn't it hilarious when he was yelling dance? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's so fucked up because it's so abusive and we're laughing at abuse pretty much.
I think the most fucked up thing is to shoot someone twice in the same foot, man. Like, spread it out. Don't shoot someone twice in the same fucking spot.
I mean, if you had to pick 1 foot or 2 foot, I'm choosing double shots in 1 foot.
Yeah, well, it's the difference between crutches and wheelchairs, man.
Yeah.
Like you're fucking crippling this person for good. Like,
I don't know, man. I feel like two bullets in a foot is gonna ruin that foot for life. 1 bullet, you might just have a little bit of a limp or something.
She seems like she's doing all right. She walked across stage and stuff like that. She just got graduated. Shout out to her. She's been in college this entire time. She's been like going through her career. So
that's rad.
That is dope.
Yeah, her foot, she seems like she never got shot. She's twerking the best way she can. She's doing crazy shit.
She looks like she's very strong.
She's a big chick. She's a horse. She's a stallion. She can take some abuse. All right? She's going to bounce back. She's a hefty woman. Like, she looks strong.
She got them Chung Lee legs.
She's like 6 foot tall. She's big. Like, she looked like she could take a hit. Like a linebacker hit.
That's why Tory Lanez shot her, probably. That's why he shot her.
She could play basketball D, like defense.
It's also
basketball.
She can crush that watermelon with her thighs.
Yeah, it's insane, by the way, that Tory Lanez's little 5'3" ass standing next to Megan Thee Stallion. Like, and when you look at the pictures, they look of similar height. I think they're doing the Tom Cruise thing where he's standing like 4 feet in front of her to take these pictures. There's just no fucking way that there's a 9-inch height discrepancy, and then all these pictures, they kind of look like they're like in parody. It's like he's doing the Tom Cruise thing. He's standing forward in the picture to appear larger because there's no fucking way. Okay, there's no way. That's all I gotta say.
Really
Maybe he's got some crazy lifts on. He's basically wearing high heels himself.
He's on stilts. Oh man.
But not
So
yet.
Tony, we want to rank this album. We're gonna do our ranking system. Pooch is giving it a 1. That's a listen.
Yeah, I give it a 1.
Nah,
1
I-
out of 1.
I
You
give
should
it a-
listen to the album. It's
I
good.
give it an 8. Solid 8. You
I
could
got an 8 for it too. Like I did not dislike anything about this album. I'm happy. I got music I actually enjoyed listening to this week compared to some of the previous music stuff we've done.
Nah, Vince
Drake
Staples
one
album
wasn't
was
bad.
album of the year, bro.
Nah.
Last year, that Vince Staples. Well, listen, bro. Rolling Stone says otherwise. All right, and what the Washington
fuck
Post.
Rolling Stones.
All right, they also say "Whole Lotta Red" was the album of last year, and I agree too.
Wait, they
Playboy
said 2
Cardi.
albums were album of last year?
No, I think Washington Post did one, and they did Vince Staples as the best album of last year, and I think Rolling Stone did "Whole Lotta Red."
Who's Whole Lotta Red?
Playboy Cardi.
Oh, Playboy Cardi.
Nah, I've loved Vince Staples for years. So I love the album. Album of the year. I don't know. I gotta go back and look at some shit. Like Nas dropped an album. Kanye dropped an album. There was a lot of shit going on last year. Like I don't know. I don't know if Vince Staples take it, but
The Kanye one I could not vibe with.
no.
Yeah, and Drake's. Well, he also took his nominee off of the Oscars for that album. He was going to get nominated for Album of the Year, and he rescinded his nomination.
The Grammys?
Or then the Oscars, some shit like that. One of those.
You don't get an
Grammys.
Oscar for music unless it's in a movie.
Yeah. Or so then the Grammys.
I see. Yeah, I'm like an Oscar for now. Yeah,
No,
must be-
I thought maybe there was like a movie that had come out and he released a song for it or something.
Why do you rescind it? Like, is there like a beef?
Because I think everyone knew that shit was kind of subpar, and he should why should he receive a fucking award for a subpar album?
It's like when I said I don't think Donald Trump will run a second time because I think his ego is not going to allow him to lose. And I was wrong. He ran again and lost, but I was surprised. He did better than I thought, but I didn't think that he would like. So you're saying the same thing? Like his ego was like, I don't want my album nominated because it's going to lose. I don't want to lose, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But wait, did everybody give their review? I got an 8, Mateo 8, Pucho 8.5, or 1. No, you gave it a 1. And
1
Go
out of
listen.
1. Go listen to it.
And I gave it a 10. Perfect.
Perfect.
you gave the. I can't trust some of your ratings
Yeah, I
sometimes
can't trust
though.
those tastes.
Like
Okay.
the Cuban sandwich was the start of me realizing the bullshit you be on. Like it's weird.
No, for me it was Dead Space 2.
For me, it was the Plants vs. Zombies.
It was Dead Space 3, you mean?
Oh, Dead Space 3.
He corrected that shit.
Wow, Plants vs. Zombies? That's crazy.
I do want to, moving on, I do want to throw out there, though, I have to give shout outs to those who loves to get themselves shout outs. And what I mean by this is that people love to say that I put you on to something. Like that's a thing for people. People want to feel this like this ownership of letting you know that I did it. I'm the one that gave you this great musical influence and shit.
Not only that, but they're like, oh, you just started listening to that? I listened to that so long ago. I started listening to that a long time ago.
We got an example of it on this pod today where Tony put B on the Nas album. He's like, yo, I hit a B. I had to tell him, go listen to that shit. Like
I did.
He wanted to be the guy who told such and such to go, and it's a prime example. But
But that's not, I mean, good way to shoot me because I ain't fucking, that's not what I did. But I did put all of y'all on J. Cole. This is the thing that I did. Lena says that she did it, but it wasn't her because I put her on it. So if I put her on it, that means I put all 3 of y'all on it. Well, not Mateo, but Felix, you, and Pucho.
I remember the day Lena stepped into the house and said, you have to listen to this. Yo, listen to this real quick. She put me onto J. Cole. So I don't know. I can't verify whether you were the true originator of the J. Cole. And that was like when J. Cole did his like first music video.
Yeah, it was
Like that was the
back in the days.
album. It was like the album before that.
Nah.
It was the album
he
with the
just dropped.
basketball where he's holding the basketball.
I think it was his first album is when I put her and then she put y'all on.
Nah, for me, no one really put me on J. Cole because no one told me to listen to this guy. But I think I was actually sitting in Tony's car one day and I heard the tracks and I was like, who's this? Oh, J. Cole. And then I went and listened to him. So Tony could actually say that if he wants to claim credit that he put me on J. Cole. But it wasn't like a verbal thing. It was more like I was just hearing music and I was like, oh, this is cool.
But no, yeah, a lot of people like
the warm up. That was his second official mixtape. The warm up.
Yeah, then it was the come up and shit. Then the blow
also,
up.
Yeah, Tony didn't fuck with J. Cole until the Far South shit.
Honorable mention.
Just making up facts.
Yeah.
Felix also put me onto J. Cole as well. He was also around the
How do
same
you get
time.
two people telling you?
That's
Well,
my
I'm just
point.
saying, around that time, I'm pretty sure I remember Felix also listening to J. Cole as well.
Felix got put on by Lena, who got put on by me.
it's a-
It's just what happens, though.
So we're too busy talking about J. Cole, but the topic really is, why does Tony feel this pride about this?
I'll tell you why. I think some people. Well, I don't. I'm joking. My sister actually put us all on J. Cole. And Pucho. I listened to it in my car. But seriously, people love. I think the reason why is because people love to be like the first. They want to be the first to say, "Oh, I did that. I got all y'all niggas listening to this vibe. Like I put y'all on. Like it's just like an ownership. Like they just want their flowers, pretty much.
So they want to be musical colonists. Like they're colonizing like an artist. They're just like, yo, J. Cole, I own that shit in your head, okay? Like I brought that shit here.
Yeah, that's all it is, really. Like Doughboys put me on Wiz Khalifa.
And Felix put me onto Wiz Khalifa.
Felix put me on to what's that dick? Currency. Like these are
Currency's still making good music.
yeah.
Felix listens to a lot of music.
Yes, he does.
Felix introduced me to French Montana way before French Montana became famous, and he was just a really young kid rapping. So yeah,
I think it's funny though because it's like even Pucho's done it. He said, "I'll put you on that," or "I'll put you on this," and it's mostly when it comes to like it could be anything too. When you say you put somebody on food, you put somebody on a sneaker game, you put somebody on a clothing thing, video games. Like it's a whole. This shit doesn't have any lines. This shit can bleed into anything. You know what I mean? And I think it's weird. I don't know who started it. I think it might have been KRS-One who probably started that shit. I feel like KRS-One is the one who said, "I put y'all niggas on." I feel like he started this shit. I don't know how.
I mean,
or when.
yo, the Bronx did invent hip hop, so I think they just take a lot of pride in what's this face? This is a
KRS
fact.
I don't. The
KRS
Bronx
has been
started
taking
hip hop.
Yes,
bro, are you for real?
Hip hop history, dude.
Someone put them niggas on and they secretly just blew it up. That's what.
they're
Really,
not putting anyone on. They're the DJs that literally created the music. Like
Oh, they
Grandmaster
did?
Flash, you got Kool Herc, you got fucking all these dudes. They're from the Bronx, bro. Like that's where that shit came from. But Africa Bambaataa, is he from the Bronx?
Yeah.
Like all them dudes, all these DJs, they invented hip hop in the Bronx. I think they just take a lot of pride in putting the world on hip hop. Like you listen to a Weeknd album today, he's a hip hop artist. Where I don't agree he's a hip hop, but he has lines and roots into hip hop. KRS gets to claim, yo, we fucking invented the Weeknd. All right, we put this motherfucker on hip hop. All right, like all this shit y'all like that comes from, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Honestly. It's a thing that I've only really seen in ghetto people.
damn.
Like, no,
Yes.
that's a fact. All of us
I was
growing up in the
about-
hood, I feel like we grow up so deprived of affection, and we don't get no fucking props for nothing. We out here fighting for props. Like we want someone to acknowledge that we've done something good. Like, I introduced the world to such and such. I did this. I did that. Like, I think we're fighting so much for our little nuggets, little crumbs of just respect or adoration that I think we just need to take our dubs. Like, we're like, nah, I introduced you. Like, I put all of y'all on Game of Thrones. Maybe not Mateo, right? Like, I need that props, like, to get through my day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he needs that respect. He gets no respect, just like Rodney Dangerfield.
I'd like to think that I introduced everyone in this crew.
Nah.
I mean, that's true.
Oh, you maybe
Not at
Mateo with Mateo, not with me and Pooch. Me and Jam.
I am the sole
Or Dare,
reason
should
that
I
this
say.
podcast exists.
you could say you put this podcast on. Like, me and Tony became closer friends hanging out with Doe, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But I had already known Tony, so you can't say that you put me on Tony.
And
okay?
I
I was
was
already on top of Tony. All right, no one's stopping that.
And some would say that I started. Some would say. I'm just saying. I think I put all y'all on.
invented. Some would say.
No,
What are you talking
no, you
about?
didn't, nigga. I invented. Some would say, and it was always an attack on Doe or some type of misinformation that I always give out.
I think there's some part of all this where it's just like you just want your taste to be validated. You want someone to be like, yeah, that is good shit. You're right. Flan. I've been sleeping on flan. I need to get more flan in my life or something.
Put you would disagree. Also, I mean, I would say though, Pucho put us on Jameson. He put me on Jameson.
My uncle put me on Jameson.
Look at that. See?
Shout out to. Did y'all know that y'all are drinking the Catholic Irish whiskey?
No, I didn't know that.
Apparently the Protestant one is I think it's Tully.
Really?
Damn.
I love both of them.
Yeah.
You like my
My
famous
favorite
grouse.
whiskeys.
I fuck with Catholics, all right? I grew up Catholic. I'm cool with the people, okay? A lot of my family, they're Catholic. I don't go...
I would also say that there is another group that really loves that I put you on ownership as much as ghetto people. And it's like people that listen to indie music, like all the indie heads.
Yeah.
They're all about that shit.
Damn.
But there's like a flip side there because like you also want the band also to be kind of like they can't be too mainstream. So you got to put people on them, but not too much because you don't want them to get too famous and then they're no longer an indie band.
Yeah, I think that shit comes a lot from like that punk shit where it's like you need to still be still be sleeping under your vans like while you're touring and all that shit. Like once you got a tour bus, like you sold out. Like and maybe it's because like punk rock, hip hop have similar roots in that like it comes from the gutter of like of these cultures of
We've
people
talked about it before, yeah.
Right, and these people are not acknowledged like as good people from wider society. Like, so yeah, maybe it just comes from a place of saying like I deserve respect and shit like that. I don't know, but it's just something really weird. Like you could get into a crazy argument where people are no longer friends just for saying that I introduced something to you. Like that could result in like a ridiculous fight. Like, and it sounds so bizarre that people feel that way. But
I do want to say I Googled it and West Bronx was the birth of hip hop. I don't know if that's a difference.
The Bronx.
It just says West Bronx. That's what it says.
There's a West Bronx. There's East Bronx. It's still
It came
the Bronx.
from the West. I think people who live in the West side of Bronx wanted to be known that the West side of Bronx is what, you know.
no, I mean that's totally plausible. Like KRS is from the South Bronx. Like he can't rep West Bronx. You know what I'm saying? So,
Damn.
yeah.
That's
And he got a track called South Bronx.
And
Yo, KRS-One has been getting a lot of heat recently. Apparently, he made a song about being in love with a 13-year-old girl and then made a video about it. Like, the shit is really weird.
Oh, no.
When was this?
He's been getting a lot of heat recently. I saw his name trending on
Yeah,
Twitter.
but like when did he make the song? Was what I'm saying.
Back in like the beginning
The
of hip hop,
80s?
like the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't now.
Yeah, no, but it's like still creepy that people even allowed this back in the day.
Definitely creepy. I'd say two things. One, A lot of these hip hop artists were young guys. I don't know how old KRS-One was, so I couldn't really speak to that. But also, it's a different time. Things were more acceptable back then. Like everybody knew that the fucking R. Kelly was talking to young chicks in the 90s, and nobody batted an eye about it. Everybody was just like, oh, that's R. Kelly.
Fucking weird. It's wild shit, man.
I think some behaviors were just more acceptable.
He was 16 years old when he started rapping.
Right. So it's hard to, again, I don't know when he made the song.
I mean, he talks about it being wrong in the song. Like, he knows this is something he should not be doing, but he's doing it anyways.
I watched that movie on Netflix, Cuties. There's been a lot of discussion about this in some Twitch channels and stuff. Not a bad movie. The whole world's out here calling this shit like a child porn movie. Well, it's not child porn. It's a pretty good movie.
Huh.
Yeah,
I remember that
It was on
controversy.
Netflix with those little girls twerking and shit.
Yeah, I heard about it. Everybody was up in arms when it came out, and oh my god, it's pedophilia and this and that.
I feel two things about it. One, I think it's racist. I think twerking is black culture, and people just don't like black people. So they just want to say that the things that black people do is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's a different look on it.
That's for sure. I feel like that's a big chunk of it.
You know what? I think he's actually right.
Another thing, though, is people sexualize little kids a lot in a lot of different ways, and we don't realize it. Like, when you ever heard someone go, oh man, that kid's gonna break hearts? Like, what are you really saying when you say that about like a little 9-year-old boy? Right? You're saying this kid fucks. Like, and not only that, you're saying this kid looks so good right now, he's gonna grow up to be a really good looking guy. So you're inherently saying that you find this 9-year-old kid attractive on some level. Not that like you want to engage with this kid or something crazy like that, but that is what you're saying, is that you think this kid is good looking.
Damn, I say that to my son all the time. Like, this kid's a heartbreaker.
Yeah,
I don't sexually try to... What?
Wow.
The fuck? That was a flip with a twitch?
Take a joke, bitch.
Nah, I'm fucking around. But
Just
nah,
dance, bitch.
Just dance.
Fucking dance.
They did gunshots for that.
No, I find that interesting. Yeah, like, you ever see little kids get the wrong idea when adults say certain things to kids? You see, it's a regular plot line in movies where like some little kid might be in love with an adult, right? And an adult might say like, "Oh, you're so cute" or something, and they take that to the head like.
Oh
so
yeah,
like,
I got a chance type shit.
I don't know. I feel
I
like
still do that as a man with women.
They just talked about something on that Harry Potter documentary. Apparently, Daniel Radcliffe wrote Helena Bonham Carter a letter, and he's like, I just wish that we were the same age so I could be in like a shot.
in like a shot. What does that mean?
That's what he said.
That's some British shit.
That's some English shit for sure. I don't know what the fuck that means. But what I was trying to get at though is we sexualize kids in a lot of ways, and we don't realize we're doing it. And I feel like part of what that movie was intending to do was to throw that back at us adults, like kids being sexual in some way. Really, they're just dancing, but they're dancing in a provocative way that makes you uncomfortable.
Yes.
I don't know. It's interesting. It speaks to like I think the way that we're treating kids, but we don't want kids to be this way. There's a contradiction there.
Just the hypocrisy of the whole thing.
Yeah. I don't know why I brought that up, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know either.
There's some. Oh yeah, KRS, 13-year-old girl. It just popped in my head. I had watched all these little 12, 13-year-old girls twerking, and everybody was up in arms about it. The whole fucking internet was like, "Oh, it's child porn." Oh, it was so bad. But
I remember Twitter was very upset about it.
I also find that weird too that even with these teachers, some of these teachers nowadays that are just thick, and the parents are all like there was a black teacher. I forgot what school, where state it was in, but the mothers and shit, the parents are up a roar like, oh, she's dressing too sexual for elementary school. Like, nah, she's really curvy and she's wearing jean pants, so you can obviously see how curvy she is, and she looks good. She's not an old miserable fucking teacher. She's young, 26 or whatever, and the parents were up in arms. And I want to say it was probably the mothers. I think the fathers were just all just relaxed, but definitely they were just complaining that she dresses too sexual, it's inappropriate for kids, teachings, this and that, and it kind of goes with how people view, I guess, people who maybe of color or, you know, naturally gifted with body curves and shit. Probably, I don't know.
I think once again, that is something aimed towards Black and Latino people when they start to talk about the curves, because there's been sexy teachers since forever. There's no such thing as like, there's just beautiful women, and then women are not as beautiful. There's just, you know, what you find attractive, right? But I think you're treading a dangerous line when you're talking about like what a person should wear. I just think you got to be very aware that just like there's a lot of predators, male predators, there are female predators. And, you know, just as much as you hear, I think personally, I've heard more women's sex stories. I guess maybe it gets more publicity and on the news than men, even though, and these two separate occasions are, one is celebrated and one is not celebrated. So it's like, I think you know, you especially, you know, you have to, there is such thing as dressing professional to your profession. A scientist is not going to go into a lab with the open-chested shirt and stuff like that. And, you know, there's just the appropriate attire. And I can't really go further into what that is, because I guess every profession should have a different attire. I don't think you should really be policing women's bodies and how they display themselves, but I think there is such a thing as appropriate professional wear.
But it does remind me, though, what Tony's saying, it does feel a little racist at times.
It does.
Because like there's a newscaster, I want to say, y'all know who Tommy Lauren is, right? The fucking stupid right-wing conservative chick. Mm-hmm. She had on a dress, right? And everybody was like, oh, the dress looks classy, que si okay, like it looked fine. This black woman wore the exact same dress, right? And she was like she was doing some kind of newscasting. Everybody was calling her a whore. She's dressing like a prostitute and all this stuff because her body's a little different. So if you're flat chested and you got no ass and all of that, then you could pass with certain types of clothes. If you got a fat ass or big, like you got curves on you, you're now a whore for wearing this stuff. And it just, because it fits a little bit, it's a little too much fit to your body or whatever. And it's just like, it's crazy when you compare these two. You're like, oh, you could see immediately it's the exact same dress. It looks different, right? Mm-hmm. And it just goes to show that we're looking at certain body types and we're just sexualizing someone's body off a rip and saying, you got a sexual body, you got to hide that now, or else you're being a whore. Like, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
I think it comes from jealousy too, because maybe they don't got a fat ass, thick thighs, big breast.
No, I think it's racially charged most.
No, yeah,
times.
it is. I'm just saying there could be jealousy too involved. Like, damn,
I think Tony's speaking to something. It feels like women easily hate everything, and men are a bit more accept. Like, for example, to what Tony I think Doey said it a second ago. When you look at like male pedophilia, everybody hates this. Like, nobody wants any men preying on children, right? Or I should say male predators, right? But then when you look at females or women hate this shit, right? But men are always, oh yeah, I wish my teacher and blah blah blah. Like we cool, like, you know, apparently we're cool with this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I think they're both fucked up. But,
I mean, I've seen. Even at school, they'd be like, damn, man, I wish my homeboy would have told me something was up, man. You know what I mean? I'd be like, yo, even Child's being manipulated and abused, but we don't look at these things in the same light. It's weird.
Right.
Yeah, shout out. First off, I just want to throw it out there. Miss Zenick back in Lake Worth Middle culinary or home ec class, she put me on to hot teachers. I'm just going to throw that out there.
The teacher put
would
you on to hot teachers?
Yeah,
Facts.
that's so
She-
weird.
she-
Naming your teacher here.
I
Like,
think,
this
nah.
is weird.
That, I'm telling you, like, if people didn't complain about her, but they want to complain about a different race of a woman who wearing, bro, this white woman was curvy as hell. Curvy as hell. I don't think anyone batted an eye, right? Just like now, like the Spanish newscasters, it's all on YouTube. It's all on IG. All these Spanish women that do news and they walking from section to section in that room, that's all over the web. Niggas is sexualizing the shit out of her. Just saying,
Yeah,
oh, this is
but-
a
but- some of them-
the Spanish news stations do that shit on purpose too.
Yeah,
Facts.
I don't
It
know
like-
about
it
that.
like
You
the,
think
the,
they really do that?
Facts.
the Mexican Weather Channel is one of the great fucking TV channels you put on. Shit's like the women on there are clearly going for let's dress sexy to get men to watch the Weather Channel. Like that's
Yeah.
clearly what they're going for.
Yeah, I don't.
But
Maybe,
I
maybe.
agree with
yeah.
what you're saying.
There's a lot of machismo in Spanish culture still to this day. It's like
Except
really.
Because the Mexican Weather Channel is one of the great TV channels.
It's the best channel. Like all of the United States got a bunch of men doing a report weather. Like they will get
Like,
more
yo, you
views.
saw the weather the other day? Yo, it's
Yep.
gonna rain. It's gonna rain. Like it's like
They can right
what you
now.
was looking at. Don't play yourself.
In this moment right now, we're putting on all U.S. newscasters onto women reporters being the weather. You know what I mean? Like this is gonna change. It's gonna change.
Y'all ever watch Bukake newscasters?
All right.
Okay.
I don't know what that
rainy.
is.
It's very rainy. A little cloudy.
But no, yeah, freaking yeah, putting people on the first things, man. It's like we went on a huge tangent, but
It's better.
yeah, yeah. I think I don't see nothing wrong with people saying it. Some people like to argue it though. There's a dark side to saying I put you on to something. It like depending on what time and the setting, and if there's alcohol or drugs involved, that shit can go left real fucking quick. Real fucking quick.
You remember when I put you onto that? You remember when we was doing booger sugar all night?
Well, I wasn't
nah.
saying drugs. I was just saying mainly like if we're having a conversation and the conversation's kind of like not hot, but it's warm, and you be like, yo, nigga, shut up, nigga. I put you onto that shit. Right there off rip, the shut up. Let me clarify that I put you onto something. Your response is automatic a defense, and then an attack. Like if I told Pucho, nigga, shut up, nigga. I put you on a fucking Super Nintendo, nigga. Nigga, if he was drunk, Pucho would come at me a different type of way than being sober. So it's just like, you know, you got to be careful when you drop these liners, these one-liners, because if I you know what, I'm gonna do a science experience. One day when we're all chilling again and Brian's there, I'm gonna hit Brian with the nigga. I put you onto that nigga, and I'm gonna see his reaction. And at one time, I will come back here on the thing and tell you guys how it went, but I'm gonna see how it goes.
My brother's such a good dude that if you try to like disrespect him like that, like shut up, blah blah blah, he'll stay quiet. He'll be like,
That's a fact.
he'll just drop, like he's not getting into a fight with people. Like,
Yeah,
like he's like this shit some bullshit. Like,
That's Brian's face for sure, though. That nigga will be like,
but
Tato.
someone like E though, he'll be pissed.
He'll be like, yo, my nigga, first off, my nigga, don't tell me to shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. And then he'll
Me
go
too.
into-
I'll be the same way. I'll fight over that shit.
It's funny, bro. Everybody's, I don't know. I love this circle of people I fuck with every day, man. Because everybody has their own personalities. Everybody is, in a way, we all grow up with each other. So it's just like we start changing to almost form, like to form fit with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that's it, man. We went through all these classic. I love saying classic.
New classics.
New classics.
People love saying timeless.
Timeless.
I hate people who say timeless.
Iconic, timeless.
Was it Jesus who said that The Weeknd is a classic or
Man, he's a
timeless
timeless artist. I'm
Niggas
like,
are bugging.
What did
He's
you say,
good.
Pucho? What
Nah,
did
I was
Take
like,
It Back in
imagine
Time?
you fucking went back in time and you sat in front of like like fucking was like Wolfgang Amadeus. You're like, yo, check out this fucking Weekend shit right here, and you fucking put the Weekend for him. Like what would be? First off, he might be amazed at the sounds. He's like, whoa, what instruments? You know what I mean? There might be some amazement to this. But it's people love to call shit timeless. I don't think anything is timeless. All right, like I think it's should be too different for certain eras.
I don't know about that,
bro. When
would definitely say those fucking bachata songs, those artists and shits is timeless. You would definitely say that.
It's timeless to a group of people, but like when like fucking Elvis Presley came out, people were calling that devil music, okay? Damn. So like if you went back just a few years, he might have got burned at the stake, okay? Like so it's like I don't know if you could say it's timeless. Like there'll be a whole group of people that don't want nothing to do with that bullshit. Like so I don't know.
So the Beatles is timeless.
Nah, they'll probably be devil music too. Like if you just go back a little bit, like you could say it's timeless in the sense that like from when they were accepted to now, it's good. But who knows? In the future, we might look at the Beatles music as like too poppy or something, you know? Even though they're literally the greatest band ever. But
you don't think if you took a song back to Beethoven, you play it and it said it's Britney, bitch, he wouldn't love it?
I was thinking go play Wet Ass Pussy for Beethoven.
Damn, that wop. Damn.
he might vibe with that shit though.
He'll be down.
But if you stuck with us this far into the show,
y'all heard Beethoven was really black?
About to hit this nigga with a train.
You talking about Zaytoven?
Zaytoven?
Nah, you being serious? That if Beethoven was actually...
They say that Beethoven was black.
I never heard that.
Well, if you have listened through all of it and got to this point of the music or to the video and audio, we appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that follow and like button, share with your friends. We're on all platforms. Video, YouTube, IG, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music. We're on almost everything platform-wise.
Let's hit 250 on YouTube before my birthday. You got 3 months.
Facts. Let's hit that 250. We need that. We need that.
Apparently Beethoven was like my skin complexion. So he wasn't no white.
He was a Latino?
A mulatto. It was like a light-skinned dude with dark skin.
You're not supposed to say that word anymore.
Oh, is that not? Oh, wow.
Is that an offensive term?
I think it's offensive for some people. I think it's one of those like.
Okay. Because like in the Spanish world, and when I say Spanish, I'm talking Spanish-speaking countries, there's a lot of words to describe the various mixes of races. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's a word that I've heard plenty of times. I didn't think it was offensive. But.
I'm not sure if it's offensive. I don't know, man. I've heard that it's an outdated term.
Okay.
Yeah, like calling anyone Asian Oriental. That shit was super weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
don't know what that means.
Me and ever had this one guy we worked with. Man would call Chinese people China man. China.
Oh my God.
No,
I was like,
did he fight in the Korean War?
We're just trying to get demonetized at the end of this video. I might have to cut this shit out.
Get us out of here,
terrible.
Tony.
But thank you again. And like always, people, go one up yourself. Peace.
Peace.